Here we go again, guys. Another Kevin Samuels reaction video. This was a nice one. How to tell men how to stop simping. And it's good information. I think it's good. Let's check it out. React to certain parts of this, to the whole video. I'm gonna react to the video. I'm not to certain part of the whole video. Let me know what you think. Leave subscribe, like, comment down below.
Welcome back, Notification Squad. What's up, family? What's up, CIA members? Yeah. Oh, if you're a member of the Notification Squad, when you come in, give me a big thumbs up on like this video. Also, do me a favor. I'm gonna start making a few people moderator, especially when I do live streams like this. Fellas, I'm gonna ask you that you watch the chat room for trolls. Because I'm driving and I wanted to make a response video. I want to get out more content, and sitting there making a video about each different subject takes too much time. But if y'all are good to roll with it like this uncut and raw, I'm good to make response videos and much more content this way. I only know that by the amount of people who like the video, share the video, comment on the video. Also, another favor. Last night's topic was kind of fire. And it goes directly into today's topic, why men simp. I'm going to talk about why I simped. I'm going to tell you exactly why men simp. And it goes into a point I'm about to make. You know, as soon as a man starts to speak his truth or be a man, society just wants to shut that stuff down. I want to shut it down. We can't have that, because men doing their thing, when a man has his mindset to do his thing, that man can't be controlled. So we got to shut that man down, separate him, isolate him, and keep him in line so we can keep the wheels of society on and get world production. That's really what it comes down to. So, a super chat, somebody super chatted a question. This is a video for Sean G. He basically asked, Kev, can you go ahead and explain why guys continually simp for women and the dangers of simping? Okay, for people who don't know what simping is, it basically means being a fool for a woman. And putting her needs above yours to the detriment of yourself. Why guys do it? We do it because it's safe. We do it for a lot of reasons, but if you were born after 1970, you were raised in a world like I was, where equal rights amendment, women were independent, all these other things. And a lot of people were raised by single parent households, and women, we were taught to be nice guys, be respectful of one, open the door, all those things. You know, guys before knew how to do that stuff. They didn't have to be taught. They just learned it from their fathers and the family and the society and culture. Well, women taught their sons how to be men. So obviously you got a generation of softer men, and conversely a generation of harder women. Well, when you leave your mama's house and go to school, that's the first time a lot of guys were around boys. Then our boy tendencies started to pop up and manifest themselves, you know. So especially if you were like me, an only child, it was just me and my mom and around her sisters. Oh my God, it's a wonder I didn't turn out to be gay. And so I've heard a lot of people say that, but I don't, you know, that's a subject for a whole nother time. And you know, look, I'm conservative on some things, I'm liberal on some things, but I really do believe in men should be able to be men. And when we're out, when you're in high school, you have your friends. When you go to college, that's the first time a lot of guys get a chance to really be themselves. You join fraternities, you go party, no parents around, nobody to supervise. Guess when a lot of people had their most success in relationships with women? Why? Because you're around other guys, you're out in a group. When men are broke, we pal around, we have clubs and such. But look what happens after college. We all get domesticated. We leave college, we go to work in a company. Automatically, you're not around groups of men anymore. even your fraternity brothers, even your boys. You move to a city, you go work in a company that has a culture that is very much like our society. Then you get involved in a relationship. All of a sudden, you got a bunch of men walking around like neutered zombies. We remember, it's like caged lions. That's a better thing. If you look back and see, look in the zoo. There's nothing worse than to see a lion that's in a cage and they feed him. If that lion was born in captivity, that's one thing. But a lion that roamed on the prairie, that's on the Serengeti, that's a whole nother thing. Guys, we all have that lion in us. But
I gotta stop him right there. I'm sorry for interrupting that part. He's hitting on some real points. See, I'm gonna give you a blend. Like I was born in the '70s and raised in the '70s and '80s, and I have buddies that was raised with single mothers. A lot of men was going off to prison for whiles in the '70s, coming from Vietnam and stuff like that, and just no jobs and other men struggling and fought. And my dad went back and forth to prison, and I had a mom's, but he was in the street life. I'm not gonna sit here and tell the truth. My dad was in the street life. He was a dangerous man and had a lot of respect. If that, I'm gonna let you know ahead of time. And I respect my father, but I just didn't like the lifestyle really. But the lifestyle when I was around him, it gave me a lot of things. It showed me a lot of things into women and men and personality and faces, two faces, a lot of fakeness, a lot of jealousy, envy. I've seen some real things out there in the world as a kid. Um, I was one like in the movies, some movies you've seen where the kid was learning way faster than he should have, and but it gave him an edge because of what he had to become through and become. It's like Harlem Nights. When he was a kid, he said, "You do have bad luck with kids." When you shot him in his head, uh, but my point was, I was the one working that tavern, like stuff like that. I would take out the trash and go get hubcaps from guys that would come up to the city, the big city from other cities and stuff. They might have lost their hubcap. Now you got to remember this is the '70s. They didn't have one of those spinning rims that they got today. They had hubcaps on Lincolns and Victorias and Deuce and Quarters and Fords and Buicks and Cadillacs, and so there was hubcaps, man. And so everybody liked to have their car look good, so they might lose a hubcap on the freeway. So when they get to the city, that was a big business back in the '70s and the '80s. It died out in the '80s, but it was hubcaps, man. So you had to run and go find a hubcap, and so we used to do that and make a couple of dollars. So the tavern owner would say, "Hey, Red would say, hey, Jumbo, you know, can you get the hubcap?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "All right then. How long?" I said, "About 30, 40 minutes." He said, "Okay." And I go get it. And we had junkyards, running to junkyards, running to certain spots. And sometimes we had klepto thieves that would help you get hubcaps. And so you would bring it back and do like, "Thank you, man." So it made the tavern owner look good, like he get what you need. And I was a runner, I'm from the city, so I know how to move. I know people, know everything. Not everything, but I know a lot of things. So I had a different little insight on relationships and uh, seen a lot. So then I had my grandparents that showed me a lot of things, and then I learned from them, like what not to do and good behaviors and working hard and work ethic and taking care of your family and staying home and being a good man all around and staying out of trouble, not drinking and staying in the streets and stuff. Just go to work, come home, take care of your family, take your wife to church Sunday, um, and yeah, things of that nature. I learned that from him. So I had this dichotomy, this two divides. So I got to see both worlds. So let's continue on. So I never did have that kind of simping, but did I simp what he described simping? Yeah, I made women feel good. Although I didn't inside, I was thinking like, you really believe this? But I knew what they wanted at the time, so I would give them what they wanted. So that was more like a player. Um, it came to be around, and I went through my player stage. So, but I know what women wanted, just being in their presence and bonding with them. So I guess that is a form of simping, I would say, but that wasn't my nature. So let's continue on to see what Kevin Samuels got to talk about. Do you agree with this or not? Leave a comment down below.
We have all been programmed and taught that being a nice guy is the way to be. That's why we end up simping. Simping is a symptom of programming.
Imagine being able to
Yeah, I think it's there's definitely programming, and women program young men in the 70s and 80s when their fathers weren't around, and then if they didn't do something, they would cry to the young guy, and then the guy would feel bad and he'd hug his mom and all that. So there was a lot of manipulation going on. So guys can learn how to be manipulated early.
When I was telling the stories yesterday about how I would go from, doing what a guy should do to being this nice guy and end up getting abused and mistreated by women, that was an internal conflict going on in me of me trying to basically fight against my programming. Another thing though is even after a guy knows better, we go back to simping because it's safe. We know how to simp. That's it. We just know how. It's no different than why don't people go work out at the gym? Why don't people eat better? Why don't people, dress better? It's not a matter of knowledge. Arguably, we're the most knowledgeable society that's ever existed. We have access to information like no time before in human history. It's not a matter of information. It's a matter of, if I change, I'll have to do something that I'm not familiar with. And I'm familiar with being a simp. I'm familiar with being a nice guy. I'm familiar with doing the things that people want me to do to be acceptable. And I know what I get. Now, here's the twist. We get comfortable with it. It's kind of like, think about all the sayings we have in our world. If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. Be content. Keep the car you have, and the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. All of these things are little subliminal cues to keep us stuck and content. So as a man, when you hear another man telling you, look, women like sex, women like men, women like confident, intelligent, assertive men, and they want men to act in a certain way that's counter to what we've been told, it goes against everything we know, and it goes against us being safe.
You hear the point right there. When it's counter to what the women even saying. They saying what they want because that's what they've been programmed to say. Both of you guys, the male and the female, have been programmed. The women programmed because it benefits the women as you simping for them. So they want that. They like that feeling of the sensation of you simping and doing what they want you to do. But they also want, it's like when you get the scenario he gave. Watch this. Her nature inside her, that animalistic nature inside of the woman, she's still a human being just like you. The animal nature inside the woman, when she look out and she see this one line over here in the cage, he get fed at noon every day at noon. He eat, he roar a little bit, but he's in a cage. He moves around this little so many hundred square feet. Then she looks out here on the Serengeti in Africa, and she see this 500-pound lion, and he's out there. He's walking around doing what he do. You know what I'm saying? No cages, no nothing. He'll turn to that if he had to, if he want to, if he chose to. She has no control over this animal, and she looking at that animal like, and it gives her sensations and feelings that she desires, that she can't control, that she wants to control, she wants to have, but she can't, and it ain't her, and she can't get close to it, but she wants to get close to it, and it's just that it factor, that danger factor, that charisma, that riz, that everything she desires, and she can't get it. That's what she's attracted to. Now you over here in the cage, she looking at you like, yeah, he's still in line. He still got his teeth. He still everything, but his roar ain't the same as when that line on that Serengeti roar. When he rolled that line, he said, "Move out the way. If you don't, I'm coming for you." And you know that you're gonna get out the way. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're gonna get out the way. You're gonna move. By that cage now, you ain't gonna move because you see the cage. You're like, oh, shut up. You throw stuff at him, but he's still a 300 pound, 350 pound lion. but he ain't at that 500-pound line that's out there turning out of buffalo, bringing down 30 hyenas, running them down, warring at midnight. Ain't no sleep for that line on the Serengeti. He can see at night. God made him that way. Free, range, roam, know not to be played with. Come on. That's real life. That's life living. Not a cage. Huh. She living like, she's comfortable with the cage. She knows the cage. She knows she's no longer happy. She she knows that. She rub his head, pat him and everything. She wants that freedom, the real. So that's the difference. Both program. So once she gets there, your relationship pretty much done. It's just a comfortable situation.
That's why you get guys saying, I'm not going to do that because I'm afraid a woman will slap me in the face. I'm afraid she'll throw a drink in my face. Look at YouTube. YouTube is a great example. I am a professional menswear stylist, but I have a tremendous amount of information to give to guys. I have to think about the content I put out there because I can put some stuff out there that YouTube doesn't deem appropriate or friendly. I don't cuss a lot. I don't use a bunch of negative words, but even the concepts I'm talking about, they don't want me talking about this right now. Guys that talk about this kind of stuff end up having their channels demonetized, their views skewed off, their channels just aren't as popular. Why is that?
Once I figured
Yeah, I didn't know all of that, but yeah, this interesting. It's I didn't know you had to watch that cursing and stuff. I don't believe in all that cursing either. So yeah, you got to be mindful of all that. So he has a point. Let's keep it going.
Empowerment, those channels get millions of views and subscribers, but guys that have the nerve to talk about, guy, put yourself first, empower yourself, be a man, take charge of your own life, be confident, intelligent, assertive, be learned. I mean, all that stuff, you would think that would be a good thing. No. It's challenging to the system. The system we were raised. I was raised in that Simp system. So I could go on and on and on and tell you story after story after story. But let me just say this. Because we are guys, let's just throw some numbers up here. Not to brag about anything, but by the time a guy reaches his mid-30s is when he really starts to understand what it means to be a man. By the time you reach 40, you really become a completely different person. You become a whole man. You know how to get stuff done. You know who you are. You're self-actualized. So in your teens and 20s, a lot of guys, we're about getting laid and making money. And it's easier to get laid to make money, so we keep score by stuff. I went through that phase to where, we had competitions to see who could score the most with women. And, when you start getting up, when you start having numbers in the triple digits, on one side, I was taught to be proud of that, but on another side, I felt kind of ashamed. I was like, that's disgusting. But then I thought about it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's nothing to be ashamed of. I just live life. No one told me to be ashamed of it. It was the way I was raised and programmed by the world. You got to be a nice guy. You got to do the right thing. You got to put everybody's needs ahead of your own. Every single relationship I've had, and I haven't had a lot. I've had a lot of women. Trust me, I've had a lot of women. I got some stories that I simply will not tell on YouTube. I've lived a broad life. I've done some. Yeah, I don't have a bucket list. Let's just put it that way. I'm doing that homo stuff though. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But I don't do that. But the thing is, as you start to realize, when you hear, the first time you hear a woman say, I normally don't do this kind of thing, but the first time I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. But after I heard the 10th woman say, I normally don't do this, I'm like, man, what's the only common denominator? Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, other, old, young, rich, poor, American, European, Asian, African. It doesn't matter. The only common denominator was all these women were lying. I normally don't do stuff like that. That is just a conscious clearing, a saying so she can go ahead and get it in. The women that actually are the best, in my opinion, are the ones that are straight up and know what they want. But they're frowned upon. Guys, the world doesn't want us to be straight up because it is not, the world frowns upon masculinity. The point of it is ultimately simping, putting women ahead of your needs, putting anybody ahead of your needs is a bad way for any person to live. Every relationship I had where I actually suspended good, simple thought, and I decided to go ahead and put woman on a pedestal, treat her like a princess, all these other things, you know what ended up happening? I was happy for about a month because she told me all the things I wanted to hear. You're like no other guy I've ever had before. You're so different. You're so this. You're so that. Then after that, after the new car smell wore off, that woman began to resent me. She had contempt for me, no respect for me, because when a woman knows that you will take whatever she does and let her get away with it, she had no respect for you. Simple as that. You out there.
That's the Serengeti effect. The cage lions he's talking about, that's the cage lion he's speaking on. But as long as you see just a line on a Serengeti, she's gonna have that. She gotta have that respect, or she get, or things could happen just like any other human being could happen. That's a real animal out there. That's a real lion, and I don't know which way to go. You have that that uncomfortable, unexpected. You'll watch what you say if you have that understanding, and that's why that's different. What he talking about is the cage program line.
Being a sucker. So, and we're told, be upfront, open, honest with women. Tell her your feelings. No, I'm telling you, hold stuff back from women. Don't tell them everything. Do not tell a woman that, you know what, whatever you do, I love your dirty drawers, and you could do whatever, and I'll take you back. No, 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 no. First-hand experience, that doesn't work. When you check a woman, when you let them know that you are the catch, not them, you put them on your schedule, you make them jump through hoops to get to you, they are mentally engaged and enjoy that kind of stuff. Like I said the other day, guy was like, well, you can't walk by and smack a woman on her butt today because the game is so messed up this way. I'm like, when's the last time you tried it? When's the last time you walked up to a woman in a bar or any place? I'll give you an example.
We're Phoenix Energy.
Yeah. Basically, whenever you have did something different in your life, or you always the same because she expect you to be the same.
Monday, I was in Starbucks. You see me in Starbucks often. Drop dead, gorgeous woman standing in front of me. She's got headphones on. I don't know this woman from a can of paint. She's ordering her stuff, and I say, and I hold my cup up, I was like, I'll have the normal, and Beauty here is gonna pay for it, right? That woman looked at me, she's like, excuse me. I was like, oh, I told him it was on you because you got your Starbucks. I mean, you're beautiful, you know that. Oh yeah, I got it. A part of me said, oh, don't let her pay, don't let her pay, don't let her pay. What? Yes. Now see, the 20-something-year-old version of me would have took her outside, or that would have went somewhere. But the 40-year-old in me that has gone through the simp, pimp, simp stage, you got to get that simp up out of you. And here's one of the easiest ways to do it. We got to start hanging around more men. Men by themselves, we're like snipers, pick off people alone. Look, that woman wanted to pay for my drink. I mean, and here's the thing, I ordered my drink, I ordered my pastries, her drink was like $4. With my total, it came up to $14. And I saw the guy ring it up, and the lady had stepped off to the side. She was gonna pay for my stuff and not have a problem with it. And part of me was like, oh, don't let her do it. Don't let her do it. That's not a good man. But I was like, okay, hold on. Don't do it. Let's just see what happens. Just see what happens. She said, oh, enjoy that. Oh, by the way, introduced herself, asked me, was about to give me her card. I was like, here's my number. I gave her my number. I resisted. She called me 2 hours later. The rest of that story on another stream. The point is this, guys. Women like assertive men. I did not know that woman. I didn't need her to pay for that. I was just shit testing her. I was just seeing what was going to happen because I was in a happy mood. But that reminded me of things I already know. And why have you guys never heard this side of me? Because as a businessman, as a brand, I have to balance, telling guys to be the best version of themselves, but by me telling you these truths, I have to also consider, man, that may be frowned upon by the powers that be, because look, to think we live in a world where there are no rules and you can go around and say what you want and just keep it real can keep you broke. But that even reinforces the message, the fact that I can't tell you as a man things that I know that are successful. I didn't take advantage of anybody. I didn't do anything. That woman was attracted to me. She looked at me in a certain way. I knew that there was something going on. So let me round this back to the point I want to end on. Men, if you're a man living in the city right now and you're having trouble with women, first off, you need to stop listening to women. You need to stop listening to married men and men in relationships. Don't listen to them. You need to listen to the single guys. Married men, my focus as a married man or a man in a relationship, it was completely different than my focus as a single guy. Thought completely differently.
Basically, what he's saying, man. Married men tell you about married life. Simple as that. A single man tell you how to move out in the single world. There you go. Two different versions. Then what he did right there to the Starbucks was a player move. It was smooth. See, if you listen to what he trying to say earlier, I let him play out a little bit. But he was basically in a simp bag and going through it. But he told you he went to his 20s when he was gigolo, HO 403 days as a college student, learning how to be a viral man and going through this phase, then going through the player stages, then coming back to the simp stages. Raised as a simp, went to college, became a viral stud on the Serengeti. If y'all remember what I mean by the Serengeti, then went through the player mode, then went back into the corporate and the simp mode, then came back as a 40-year-old man, a seasoned man, learning, developing himself, went to his 50s, and then and leveled off, and now trying to get the wisdom of things he's learned over the decades. So it's a great story. It's a great real life story, lifespan psychology. Um, so I like what he's saying, but yeah, ain't nothing wrong with what he did. The lady allowed that move because she liked the energy, she liked the flow. Where he said she liked the, I'll say today she liked the Riz. What you said, we were saying just 20 years ago, we said charisma. She liked his charisma. She liked the way he flowed with her. And she wasn't expecting nothing like that. He caught off guard. He turned around in a circle and did a little quick tango with her. And she was like amazed, like, oh, he's smooth how he handled me, how he moved me around, how I felt safe, and the twirl was lovely. Yeah, remind me of when I was in dance school, at my ballerina school, or wherever school, when I was in ballet, when I was in swimming lesson, when I was in musical plays, you take her back, and he knows that a lot of girls go through them processes. So he does that smooth move. That's where he had that charisma, man. You know what I'm trying to say? And she appreciate that. And he handled it from the not the late cage animal, but the Serengeti animal. She tried to give him, I don't want your number. You take my number. And when you get in your mind ready to call, you decide to call because I don't need you. This is what he's saying to her. But you are beautiful. You have a wonderful day, and thank you for the coffee. And what he said, she called him in 2 hours because that riz, that charisma is beaming, it's coming through, and he knew it. Just bring some reaction to that to let you know a little more details about where it's going from. Let's continue on with this.
The motivations are completely different. Men need to start hanging around with more men. If you go out Go out with 2 or 3 guys. Learn how to work together. Back to the college stories. The reason why we would go out in college parties, on college campus parties, and everybody would walk away successful scoring that night is because we all knew the rules. It's like Top Gun. We knew how to play the wingman. Sometimes you had to go talk to the fat ugly chick so your boy could get laid. That's what you had to do. But it was all successful because you see, 4 women, if there's a group of 7 guys, every guy is gonna score. You've seen this thing being enforced in Top Gun, A Beautiful Mind. This is not new knowledge. But as men, after we leave college and go work our careers, live in the city, we don't have male relationships, so we end up going out by ourselves. Yeah, you can look good, smell great, and everything else, but unless you are an extremely confident, intelligent, and assertive man, you'll lack the real world experience or the real world information to go out there and challenge your beliefs and try these things on your own. That's why a lot of people work with pickup artists, because the pickup artist can actually take them out into the world and show them how it works. I don't publicize this, but I have a segment of my business where I do this. You'll see that I write online dating profiles, but I take guys and work with them one-on-one and show them real world how to interact with women, because we have to relearn.
Attention veterans.
Yeah, you have to. He's talking about the simps. You have to relearn that.
To unlearn what we've been taught, first of all, period, point blank, end of sentence. If you're born after 1970, you have to unlearn what you've been taught. And especially if you're raised in the United States. If you're raised in the black community in particular, and if you have a single parent household, a black woman raising you, yeah, you've been taught this. I am woman, hear me roar, strong, independent, blah, blah, blah. All that crap's in our head. Women don't like that. Now, why can a man walk around with a man bag, smelling good, looking good, and the women who love men know I'm a man, the gay guys know I'm not gay? You know, because that's a hold up a lot of times. I mean, I dress, you know, that's a lot of reason guys dress the way they do now. It's like a show of manhood. If I can be sloppy, sagging, all this other kind of stuff, I can overtly show my masculinity. No, dude, no. Because if your mindset is still feminized, simpish, you're gonna still end up simping behind a big booty apple bottom. You can be a simp and a sag all at the same time. You can be simping in a fitted or a snapback. You can be simping in Timberlands. You can be simping in an Armani suit. Simp is a mindset. I can walk around just like this in my man bag. The guys will sit, but some guys be like, I dig that. Oh, some guys be like, man, no homo, that's gay. You know what? I've told you this before. All the times I hear guys saying that kind of stuff, I laugh at them because I be smashing that girl. Bottom line, I know me. I'm confident in me. I know what I am. I'm assertive and I go for what I want. Guys, you have to learn to go for what you want to. This was me, I wanted to make this quick video because I didn't get a chance to answer Sean's question in chat, and he did super chat yesterday. I'm not going to answer any questions right now. I'm going to go ahead and do a live stream tonight at 8, following up on these topics. But here's the thing. If you doubt what I'm saying, if you come to live stream tonight. If you are having trouble with women, come to a live stream tonight, because guys who are confident do better. But there's a difference between confident and egotistical. Egotistical guys are like Donald Trump. Donald Trump he's a perfect example of alpha male behavior, but it's egotistical. You have to be, you can know you're egotistical when you can't listen to good information and make a change. See, guys who are confident can listen to good information, take in good information and make a change because they'll know they'll get a better outcome. Egotistical guys, it's my way or the highway. Tune in tonight at 8 for more of this. Now, here's the thing. If you like this kind of content, I need you guys to show it by liking, come to a live stream, invite more people, because for me, I'm gonna just put it really, really out there. As a menswear personal stylist, fashion and fragrance, that's a nice, happy topic. Life topics, especially with the state of online and YouTube right now, I'm even taking a risk by telling you the truth. And I haven't even broken any. Have I said anything that's disgusting, inappropriate, that couldn't get on national TV? But you want a sure way to get shut down on some social media platforms is say the truth, be real. That's a sure sign for getting targeted. But I'm going to rely on you guys to tell me if you want to see more of this kind of information. If you don't, I won't talk about it anymore. All right. If you want to hear more, show up to live stream at 8. Information.
All right, guys. That's it. We're going to end on that note. I thought this was a great one. Leave your comments, subscribe down below. Let me know what you think. This is very informational. Simping versus straightforward manhood out there, how to deal with a woman and womanhood.